Joining us now is a man who is a world superstar. He could literally be in every single commercial if he wanted to because he is beloved by every single demographic of human that exists around the globe. People don't even have to be able to speak English to love this man. Obviously, he is a Hall of Fame rapper.
What?
He's an incredible businessman.
What?
And his acting abilities are something that whenever people talk about and compare, they say, is this guy an Oscar winner? Maybe. With the newest movie that's out today, Underdoggs, available on Prime. Ladies and gentlemen, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Snoop.
How are you, man?
Pat, AJ, what up, baby?
Listen, Snoop, I just want to let you know, this is sick chain.
Yeah.
The jacket, too. We were watching a little bit during the break, getting in the mood, doing some Snoop Dogg stuff. Like, this is dream come true for us. Thank you for making time. You're an absolute legend, Snoop. Absolute legend.
Hey,
we appreciate you.
Pat, I'm a fan of the show, man. When you first started coming on, I was tripping because I was like, you the first person I seen come on ESPN and say shit. And they didn't cancel it. I'm like, man, I like Pat. Pat breaking rules. Pat making it easy for the next man. Like, you did that. I appreciate what you did for the culture as far as like making ESPN understand that we talk a certain way when we talk sports.
Yeah, there's humans, this isn't, and with the way the internet is, this is how conversations take place, and I appreciate you acknowledging that. As you could probably understand as an incredible businessman yourself, that conversation during negotiations was hilarious. There's actually a list. There's a list of words we're allowed to say and a list of words we're not allowed to say that were put in there, and those were negotiated over. And there was like real give and take. It was awesome, Snoop. It was awesome.
Hey, man, y'all push it to the limit, too, because y'all say it at least 20 times a show. I love it.
We've been trying to be a little bit more adults, but sometimes when you're talking about some shit that's taking place, there's only one way to describe it. Speaking of, hey, congrats on another movie. Underdogs debuts today. You've obviously been promoting it and marketing it. It seems like a role that is perfect for you, and the kids that are playing the youth league football team that you're going back and coaching are hilarious as well. How hands-on were you with the making of the movie, and how pumped are you to see the world respond to it today?
Well, thank you for saying that, Pat. My football league, the Snoop Youth Football League, is what inspired this picture. The kids that I've dealt with, the coaches that I, have relationships with. And I just wanted to make something that felt good, that felt like, the kids of today, but at the same time, a sports movie where you could show someone who was successful, who lost success, but had to go find it by going back to the place that birthed his success, the community that raised him.
So for the whites out there, Mighty Ducks is happening, but in a hilarious way, in a football fashion. We've seen a couple of the trailers and teasers. Here's one I think that probably sets up the movie the best, and then you can obviously tell us if we're right or wrong.
Okay.
Y'all thought I was a crackhead janitor, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, turns out I'm a rich-ass celebrity. And when I heard about y'all league not being able to find y'all one decent, respectable citizen to mentor you little dudes, shit kind of broke my heart. So I decided to work out a deal with the Los Angeles County Community Outreach Program so you could have football legend Jason 2J's Jennings as your new head coach.
Legend? Man, get out of here, dog.
Oh, shit, I know who he is.
Good looking out. About time y'all put some respect on my name.
Nah, he used a fake penis to cheat on drug tests.
I love it. How many guys are in the league now from this Snoop Youth League that you run out there in California?
Man, it's over 20 guys that have actually made it. I don't even know how many out there right now. I just found out that Drake Jackson and Lenore from the from the 49ers played in my league. We had Romeo Dobbs, Keyshawn Nixon from the Packers, C.J. Stroud, D'Angelo Ross from the Texans, Jack Jones from the Raiders, Juju Smith-Schuster with the Patriots. I mean, they everywhere.
So I don't want to give away the movie. I've not seen the movie.
No.
But I will assume by the end of this movie, boy, 2J's, hey, he's a great football coach.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great football coach, and we're changing the world, making it better. You've done that throughout your entire career. Kind of not only gave a handout with the Snoop Youth League, but I heard a story on All the Smoke that you told Stack and Matt Barnes about some rapping OGs that potentially find themselves in hard time, and you send them a couple bags just to look out. You've made the world better, Snoop. It's a beautiful thing to watch from afar as somebody that's trying to follow in the footsteps of somebody like you. You do good shit. You need to know that, Snoop. AJ has a question for you.
Snoop, I'm curious about your whole acting career. Obviously, you can do everything, but
every time you pop up in a movie, you're always great. I remember Starsky and Hutch watching you pop up, how great you were as Huggy Bear back then. But I'm excited to see this new movie. But people think acting is just easy. They think people can just show up and, okay, I can talk into a camera and act. What have you done, I guess, to become such a great actor? Because you're a legit actor in everything you do.
And hilarious.
Yeah.
Thanks, AJ. The hard part is trying to separate your celebrity from that character. And when you such a big celebrity like me, it's hard to like, is that Snoop Dogg up there or is that a character he's playing? So what I like to try to do is to really fall deeply into the character and try to take Snoop Dogg out of the character and become who that character is on screen. So when the movie is over with, you believe that I actually played that character and I'm not Snoop Dogg.
Any more albums coming out? I feel like you're always busy, always working. Is this forever? We're going to see in every commercial, new songs, new movies. Is this it?
No, you know what, Pat? Great question. I'm going to let you be the first to know. I'm in the studio with Dr. Dre right now working on my follow-up Doggy Style album.
Whoa.
Okay, so straight out of Compton, one of the greatest scenes is his ass in the lobby of the fucking house you guys were living in. And you coming, la-da-da-da-da, coming down. Just anytime you two are together, it feels like magic is made. And that's where we're at right now?
That's exactly where we at. And we both, we peaking. So we watching the industry. You know, when you great at what you do, when you watching, and you watching the youngsters do their thing, and then you feel like, man, maybe I need to add one more piece to this house that I built to show them exactly how legacy looks when you at this stage of your career. Because one thing about rock and roll, the older you get, the more you respect it. But in rap, it seems like the older you get, the less you're respected. So we want to show you that you can remain respected and make quality music in the age and the prime that we're in.
Okay, is there going to be features, or what are we thinking?
Oh, you know I'm going to have some features. I'm down with everybody, Pat, so it's going to be hard not to have features. It's just a matter of who will be the particular features that fit the song and fit the whole concept of the record. You know, Dr. Dre when he makes records, he makes movies. So the record feels like a whole movie. You're getting an experience. You can't skip from song to song. You got to let it play from top to bottom.
How long is this process normally for you and for Dr. Dre?
Well, I say probably a year. Take about a year because you're trying to fine tune it. You're trying to make sure it's right. And there's different sounds and different things that you encounter. And then you always want to make sure that it's the best that you've done since the last time that you've been heard. And Dre is a perfectionist. Not so much with me. I'm raw, but he's a perfectionist. So he knows how to clean me up and make me sound right and put all of the right things. Like a great coach, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm good, but I'm better when I'm with him.
Yeah, he can pull the greatness out of you. He understands how to coach you as opposed to talking to other people. How much weed are we going through in one? Are we talking like ounces by the day whenever we're in the studio? Or how is that whole writing, creating process with the lovely Mary Jane?
With Mary Jane?
Yeah.
She's accompanying me on most of my journey in the studio. I don't leave her behind. I like to dance with her. You know what I'm saying? That's my girl.
Yeah, me too, man. Every single day. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Snoop, speaking of the new album and everything you've done, we always talk about competitive stamina with athletes and how the greats can just, no matter how much they've accomplished, they continue to want to win and they carry that on and then don't rest on their laurels. How have you managed to kind of keep that competitive stamina in the creative process after being a legend and a GOAT in the industry and everything you've done for so long?
Good question. I compete against me. I don't compete against them. I mean, I'm looking at me every day like, how can I be better? How can I outdo what I did? And one thing I always say is, I never have time to watch my highlights because I got a game to play tomorrow. So I'm always trying to keep to it and do it.
Yeah, but when you see every other commercials, you got to stop and be like, hey, pretty good acting right there. You know, I think you got to enjoy that every once in a while.
When I'm with my grandkids, that's a great feeling. When my grandbabies, you know, whenever they recognize and see, you know, their grandfather doing things, that's the joy that I get. Like if they'll go to a store and they'll see an ad or something with some products or something that I have, and they'll send me a video, and that makes me feel good that they recognize.
At what moment did it become like, okay, everybody knows Snoop Dogg, everybody likes Snoop Dogg? Been to a couple of your concerts. I enjoy them every time. I mean, the altitude level of everybody there is fantastic. But you look around, you got 75-year-old white lady, okay? And then you got 15-year-old black kid from inner city who's never seen a 75-year-old white lady maybe coming out, and everybody's having the same exact experience. When did that start happening for you? And was that the same time when every single company was like, oh, we want Snoop, we would like Snoop on every commercial seemingly?
I think maybe like in the early 2000s, like maybe 2005, 2006, after I created my football league, I had a couple of meetings with some people on branding and marketing and, taking it to the next level and just being serious about myself and serious about the things that I do. And I feel like these brands started looking at me and started, approaching me. One of the first things I did was a commercial with Lee Iacocca, rest in peace. And when we did that commercial, people couldn't believe that Snoop Dogg is driving Lee Iacocca in a golf cart and he's swerving him around and they having the time of their life. But once they started to understand that I'm a person, just like you're a person with people, we should be able to hang out with each other no matter where we come from, what color we are. That's what I love about football. It brings everybody together no matter what their backgrounds are. So when you look forward and see me and Martha Stewart doing things together, you say, how did that happen? But you like, damn, that shit feel good when I see them together.
Perfect.
It's beauty. It's like when people get together and connect and start talking, they have the same things that in common.
It's beautiful to watch. You're the human that you can walk into any place and go, you like Snoop Dogg? It's like, yeah. Just like chicken nuggets, I think.
Yeah, basically.
Chicken nuggets, the only other answer is getting a yes on everything. Go ahead, AJ.
Let's do it. Pat McAfee and Snoop Dogg present chicken nuggets.
I will follow your lead on the business sense on that one, pal. But if you need me to eat some shit on TV, I will. Saban might actually go run this shit, Snoop. Legit. They're thinking about Saban potentially taking like a college football commissioner job and maybe making everything straight because the NCAA has obviously gotten so much wrong. Do you pay attention to any of that?
I'm watching it every day, and I think a lot of the people say that Saban was mad because the players started getting money and getting control, and that's why he jumped out the coaching thing. I don't know. I'm just telling you what my feedback is like the players finally got control and finally got money, so a lot of these coaches can't really do what they normally do because now you're dealing with a businessman. You're not dealing with a kid no more. And what I like about it is that it's teaching financial literacy to a lot of these players before they get to the NFL, because one thing they don't teach you is financial literacy. That's why a lot of these players have bad times, they fall on bad luck, and they don't have money or benefits, and they don't get the opportunities that you guys have and these other guys who've been smart enough to put it together. Well, it's a lot of guys you guys play with that's lost right now.
Yeah, and taxes, let alone taxes, and then trusting the wrong people to potentially do stuff, and then how that world can go.
Yeah.
Pretty volatile, and you have no idea. You just get introduced to it. I've talked about it a lot, and a lot of people, everybody has stories. But whenever you're I bought a Cadillac Escalade the day I was drafted. Okay, did not get my signing bonus. Did not get my signing bonus until 3 months later. That thing almost got repoed. Okay, I had to go into the bank with a damn news article saying this is what my signing bonus is going to be. It's hard. Yes, that's real life. So whenever you're just handed money for the first time in your life, it is very difficult to manage it. And not only you and the money, but the people around you as well. So now in college, they're getting an opportunity to do that. And I do appreciate the feedback on Nick Saban, because that would mean that Saban wasn't paying players before then. Mm-hmm. So Saban's like, yeah, you're right. We were never paying anybody ever down there at Alabama.
You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't get all them California kids to come out there, man, please. Everybody was paying everybody. Like SMU, UNLV, you can go back and look at the history of sports. It is what it is. Those players are eating peanut butter and crackers if they don't get that pay-to-play game. And that's just what it's, and that's why they had to recognize and say, well, now NIL, your name and likeness. We've been getting paid off your name and likeness, but jerseys with your name on it, with your number that you made famous here, then when you leave, that jersey still sells and we don't give you no money. So now they just trying to catch up for all the wrongdoing they did. Shout out to Ed O'Bannon and them for creating this with the NBA game, with the NCAA game back in the day. Coach K, they the ones who first made the lawsuit. I got my history right.
Hey, Ed O'Bannon is the at 2K. I got what do we get for that, AJ? I know you probably got a check from that thing whenever it got settled.
Was it five grand maybe?
Yeah, I forget what it was. It just showed up at my house. I'm like, hell yeah, Ed. Way to fucking go, Ed. Way to go.
California kid looking out. See what I'm saying? It takes us to look out.
Hey, I like it a lot. Now, you talk about California kid, but you're like one of the most famous Steelers fans on earth. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, you are, Snoop. So I had to get your opinion on the Steelers this year and Coach T, who, a lot of Steelers fans weren't happy this year when things weren't going well, and then there was rumors Coach T might step away. What are your thoughts on the Steelers as a whole now that the season's over?
I think they just need to bring in some fresh blood on the coaching staff and bring in some more dogs. You know what I'm saying? That's what we built on. We got coaching that knows how to coach to the system that's happening right now. This is not a 1995. It's 2024. And the offenses that's moving around, the way they moving players and doing different schemes and having quarterbacks that's mobile, like we need to get that first and foremost. And then on the defensive side, we got to get our defense back to the point to where it used to be, where it's like Dick LeBeau's defense. It's exotic blitzes. It's things that's happening. You don't know which safety's coming up. This is moving around. It's like it's too basic right now. It's like we play basic football just to basically make it to the playoffs to lose.
Well, Andrew, above 500, but, are you going to win a Super Bowl with that team, that strategy? Probably not. I like that they're looking outside, right?
Yeah.
As somebody who grew up in Pittsburgh, it's good that they're looking outside. Last time they did that, Todd Haley obviously had a lot of success quickly on the offensive side of the ball. How'd you become a Steelers fan?
1975, man. I was, watching TV and watching them do what they did, and I was a kid that was inspired. I loved Mean Joe Green, Lynn Swann, Bradshaw, Rocky Blyer, Franco, the whole get out. Mel Blunt is always one of my favorites.
If they would have, wait till you see that clip back. Your face turned sideways. And it's such a matter-of-fact statement. That crew back there that you're talking about in Pittsburgh is who a lot of Pittsburgh people judge every team against.
Yeah.
Like this team isn't a Steeler team. This team isn't a Steeler team. That's how all of Pittsburgh thinks. So I assume everybody loves that you're a massive Steelers fan. Also, USC fan. We just chatted about it. Go ahead, Con, man.
Yeah, Snoop, you mentioned, your relationship with Reggie and Lundell and those guys when they're at USC. And, they were eating peanut butter and crackers and getting in trouble. And now there's photos of Caleb Williams' penthouse in downtown L.A., and it's like...
Might be yours.
Yeah, you might have owned it before he did, but do you have a relationship with him and those guys in there? And how do you feel about Caleb, probably being the number one pick and headed to the NFL next year?
You see that jersey right there with the signature on it? That's my guy. I met his lovely mother and father. He's a great kid. I'd love to see what he's going to do on the NFL level. He reminds me so much of Patrick Mahomes. I just hope that he gets the right system and the right coach in the right situation like C.J. Stroud got. I'm looking at C.J. like that's how you're supposed to come out as a rookie. Nobody thinks you're going to do it, and then you do what you're supposed to do, and you look good doing it.
Hey, it's hard, though, whenever you're that good because you're getting drafted first for a reason. The people that are number one, normally not great. There's so many question marks of careers because there was never a good situation around them. I think, you think Caleb's going to be able to do what he does he's electrifying in college football, extending the play, shaking people. NFL, you've obviously seen him in person. You've met him. You know him. It's going to translate into the NFL like you think?
I think it can, Pat, with the right system. It's always about the system and the coach, you know what I'm saying? Because you look at Bryce. Bryce is an amazing quarterback, but that system and that coach just didn't fit him. And then that offensive line just didn't look out for him. He looked like a little kid out there. So it's like you got to make sure that the system and all that works for that quarterback. That's why I respect, Eli and John Elway for telling the NFL, I ain't going there. Holler at you later when you get a new team.
The Manning draft night, if that was in Elway, if that was to happen now with social media and the sports coverage.
Remember Burrow and Cincy?
Yeah, there was a thought that Burrow was going to do it to Cincinnati. Instead,
now
turn them around. Okay, going into championship weekend, Snoop, I know you're paying attention. Detroit and San Francisco, Kansas City and Baltimore. Who do you have? How do you see it going?
Wow. I see two great games from the teams that are supposed to be there. And as far as like my movie, The Underdogs, should I take The Underdogs because my movie is called The Underdogs?
Yes, definitely, right? This is Underdogs weekend.
Okay, Underdogs weekend. So to me, the underdog in the Baltimore-Kansas City game would be Baltimore.
Ooh.
Oh.
And I'll say that despite them being at home, despite them having the best record, Lamar MVP season, I say they're the underdog because Patrick Mahomes don't do nothing but do what he do.
Yeah.
And this is the first time he have to do it on the road, so it's a new challenge for them. And they didn't look good this season. They dropping balls, this and that and all that. That's when you not paying attention. Andy Reid got them on deck this week. I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to move on to the Super Bowl.
And you like Detroit then too, huh, on the other side? Because Detroit, underdog story, I've never been to the Super Bowl, Snoop. Never been.
I would like to see a bunch of Detroit players show up with mink coats, gators, Cadillacs, You understand me? The old Detroit flavors from back in the days and laid out on the sideline would just look like Starburst and Skittles on the sideline. From the
They did say White Boy Rick's going to be there. So a little bit of throwback from the old Detroit days. Snoop, hey, we appreciate the hell out of you, Snoop. Congrats on all the success. Keep going. Keep leading, man.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, AJ. I love y'all, man. Keep doing what y'all do. I'm a fan. I watch it every day.
You should stop doing that, especially because you're in the studio right now making greatness. Don't let us ruin you. Underdogs, available now on Prime. Ladies and gentlemen, Snoop Dogg. Thank you, buddy.